6. Eagle Eye has done a great job.
Welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Brady Huneycutt.
And I'm Chapman. Thank you for joining us.
Despite being the most common form of transportation, there are a lot of safety risks with walking around campus, specifically when crossing the street. While there are many features put in place to help with this, the question is raised on how effective these features truly are. Eagle Eye's Allison Thomas has more.
For many students, walking to campus is part of the daily routine, but it comes with risks. Busy intersections, distracted drivers, and heavy foot traffic all contribute to concerns regarding pedestrian safety. Crosswalk signals and flashing lights help protect pedestrians, but whether or not they are utilized is a different story.
If it's daytime, I don't really use them because, you can see, but at nighttime, they are very useful because when I'm driving, through Timmer's Corners and stuff, sometimes it can be a little dark and the flashing lights tell you, hey, somebody's about to cross.
In the most recent traffic survey done in 2019, data shows hotspots on campus for minor and serious injury level crashes, the majority of which occur near student housing and popular dining areas.
As a pedestrian, the most dangerous, at least for me, is that Chick-fil-A under 320, both people going in and coming out. I think this semester alone, I've almost gotten hit 8 times by people who just aren't looking. And I have to walk there every day, so it's a pretty dangerous spot, I'd say.
Officer Thompson of the Auburn Police Department urges pedestrians to look both ways before crossing, put phones and any other distractions away, and make sure vehicles are coming to a stop before walking into the road.
It can be as simple as pushing a button, but staying alert is what really keeps people safe. For Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader, I'm Allison Thomas.
Students gather on the Student Center patio to watch Zootopia 2 and enjoy delicious food. This event created a welcoming environment for students to relax and unwind while enjoying a wholesome Disney film. With a warm fire and cozy seating, it was a perfect midweek break. UPC's events bring Auburn students together in fellowship and community while creating a great way for Auburn students to meet one another.
I think UPC events are very inclusive and very diverse. It helps a lot of people with different types of hobbies and different interests come together and find something familiar or different about each other. We had to think about what movie would grab people's attention and what better movie than Zootopia 2. And then having to think about food and drinks that would go with the movie. We're actually going to have an event on Cater with Tangled and little floating lanterns where you get to DIY them. It helps me meet people who share common interests as I like. I've noticed that with other events like Pitch Perfect, we had people who like Pitch Perfect. For this movie, we have a whole lot of people who show up, so it shows that they like Disney or they want to learn something new, but I think it just helps me meet people. I will say my favorite character is Scary the Snake. I don't know, he felt so relatable in how he tries to tell Judy that it's not all on her. I don't know, he's so wholesome and sweet.
The Auburn community gathered Wednesday night in Dudley Hall for a Pick Up the Mic initiative hosted by Turning Point USA called Rise to End Abortion. The event featured speakers Jaden Hurd and Gwyn Andrews, who encourage attendees to engage in open conversation and share their perspectives on abortion. For Jaden and Gwyn, they share how their personal beliefs and life experiences brought them to Turning Point.
I am pro-life because I believe that life starts at conception, but I actually faced an unexpected pregnancy myself when I was 19. I ended up scheduling an abortion at a Planned Parenthood clinic. Didn't go, thankfully, and it wasn't until I held my daughter for the first time that I truly realized the gravity of the decision that I almost made. And so I want to come to these events to be able to empathize with those who have gone through abortion or who believe that they're pro-choice, but on the flip side, be able to show them the redemptive side of choosing life.
Well, my message for everyone is made in the image of God and is all worthy of life and equal protection under the law. And that is the only way you're going to have a country that thrives as a nation under God. And unless you, believe that the preborn are entitled to human rights as well, you can't believe in human rights at all, because human rights come with that very word, human. And if they really are human, then they're deserving of rights.
Yesterday, Eagle Eye News went to a tabling event for Miss Auburn University Be the Power Week. Be the Power Week is a community service event aimed at raising awareness for intellectual disability. The tabling event is held on the Haley Concourse and focuses on informing students on how they can get involved with the Community Service Initiative. Tomorrow is the final day to attend the tabling. Miss Auburn University Ashlyn Powers tells us more about the event as well as Be the Power's goal in promoting inclusivity.
As Miss Auburn University, I have a community service initiative, and through this community service initiative, I work to empower individuals with intellectual disabilities. So that being said, this week is Be the Power Week. The goal is to spread awareness, promote inclusion, and also encourage the community to action. So today specifically is day 2 of the concoursing event, which is Cool to Include. So it's talking about how inclusion is simple. It is not as complicated as it may seem, and it should not be something that's no longer the norm. It should be in everyday life. I am here working and interacting with the students to show tangible ways and different steps of how we can be more inclusive in the way that we interact with other people and also in our language. There's numerous organizations throughout the Auburn community. There's the Auburn Eagles program, which I've had the privilege of working with. There's the Exceptional Foundation of East Alabama. There's Ruse Roots. There's Best Buddies and so much more. So if people come and stop by, I'll be able to plug them into different organizations and to show them how they can get involved.
When we come back, you'll have a weather update with Annabelle Whetstone and a political update with Tessa Allen. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. My name is Annabelle Whetstone, here with your weather outlook for the rest of the week here on the Plains. We are expecting higher temperatures this week, ranging from the low 70s to high 80s, with cloudy and partly sunny skies. For most of the week, we have no potential rainfall. Moving into this weekend, we're seeing dry conditions with cloudy and partly sunny skies. The highs are in the 70s, while the lows are in the 50s and 60s. And that's all I have for you tonight. So when we come back, you'll have a political update from Tessa Allen. I'm your weather anchor, Annabelle Whetstone, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
We need to go meet the guy.
Good evening and welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Tessa Allen with Eye on the Hill, here to give you all things politics. As the war with Iran continues, U.S. troops are expected to deploy to the Middle East in the coming days, sources told CNN. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is saying a deal to mend the war is in sight. That sentiment is echoed by Iran, which suggests that the White House is negotiating with itself. Lead Waldman has the latest.
Airstrikes continue in the Middle East. A residential area in Tehran was hit, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. In central Israel, at least 9 people were hurt after an Iranian missile launch, emergency officials said. In the coming days, approximately 1,000 soldiers with the Army's 82nd Airborne Division are expected to deploy to the Middle East, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. One of the sources said the brigade will be prepared to be called upon if needed.
They're serious about conducting some kind of a ground operation in Iran. Why else would you be sending the immediate ready brigade from the 82nd Airborne?
I would not support troops going into Iran, period. No ifs, ands, or buts, but I also want to be clear that this administration, at least in talks with us, has not voiced that they want that either.
This comes as President Donald Trump says the U.S. is winning this war and is close to ending it.
I can tell you they'd like to make a deal. And who wouldn't if you were there?
The U.S. has shared a 15-point list of expectations with Iran via Pakistan, 2 regional sources told CNN, who added that among the points included are limits on Tehran's defense capability, a cessation of support for proxies, and an acknowledgement of Israel's right to exist. However, Iran's semi-official news agency Fars is reporting Iran will not accept a ceasefire and believes it would not be logical for it to enter talks with the United States, citing a source with knowledge of the diplomatic activity. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
The U.S. has now extended the time for Iran to open the Hormuz before strikes. The U.S. is now in a waiting period before continuing any further. Oklahoma Senator Mark
progress
Wayne
in
Mullen has
Washington,
officially
D.C.
been confirmed the
On
new
this
Secretary of the Department of Homeland
ayes are
Security.
54, the nays
The
are
partial
45.
shutdown
The
has been
nomination of Mark
ongoing
Wayne
since
Mullen of
Democrats
Oklahoma to be
and
Secretary of
Republicans
Homeland
have been
Security
having
is confirmed.
disagreements on
The
funding
48-year-old is
and handling
taking
of
over a
ICE, but
department
also
that
since
hasn't been
President
funded
Trump,
since
former
February 14th.
DHS Secretary
Let's make it
Kristi
very
Noem.
clear.
CNN
Donald Trump
reports.
is the one standing in the way of paychecks for
Some progress in Washington, D.C.
On this vote, the ayes are 54, the nays are 45. The nomination of Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma to be Secretary of Homeland Security is confirmed.
The 48-year-old is taking over a department that hasn't been funded since February 14th.
Let's make it very clear. Donald Trump is the one standing in the way of paychecks for TSA workers.
But it appears some progress may be coming on that front as well. Top Republican senators met at the White House Monday night with a proposal aimed toward funding DHS, aside from a small section of the immigration enforcement budget, which analysts
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were deployed to 14 U.S. airports Monday. Their goal is to help understaffed and unpaid TSA workers during the ongoing partial government shutdown. Now citizens are anticipating the shutdown to end soon with the confirmation of Mark Wayne Mullen. That's all with Eye on the Hill, but when we get back, you'll get a national news update from the desk. I'm Tessa Allen, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. While the U.S. says Iran must not be allowed to build nuclear weapons, North Korea is insisting its right to have nukes is, quote, irreversible. Leader Kim Jong-un told Parliament he's strengthening the North's nuclear arsenal, and he had a bold message for President Trump following another round of missile tests earlier this month. CNN's Will Ripley has the story.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un walks into Parliament with confidence. State media claims he just won re-election by a landslide with 99.93% of the vote. In front of a packed house in Pyongyang, Kim has a defiant message for President Donald Trump. The United States is now resorting to acts of state-sponsored terrorism and aggression. The hostile forces wanted us to make a different choice, preaching a payment for our giving up of nuclear weapons. But the present situation clearly proves our nuclear possession is irreversible. Kim never names Iran. He doesn't have to. His message to Trump is blunt. When diplomacy fails, only brute nuclear force will do. Ever since the Iran war broke out, a string of high-profile North Korean weapons tests. This salvo of cruise missiles fired from Kim's flagship destroyer, the Choi-hyun. Days later, a barrage of what state media calls a dozen nuclear-capable rockets. Kim, joined by his daughter and rumored successor in training, the teenager believed to be named Kim Ju-ae. She's even getting behind the wheel of a brand new tank, with her father riding shotgun. Kim and his daughter busy flaunting their firepower. And Russia praising its anti-U.S. partnership with Pyongyang. During coverage of the Iran war, Russian state TV airing footage of North Korean troops training near the Ukrainian front, glorifying soldiers who chose suicide over capture, a clear signal Russia has North Korea's back. And back in Pyongyang, Kim is honoring families of fallen troops, doubling down on nuclear weapons, and telling his military and his people to prepare for war.
There are still signs diplomacy is not completely off the table. Just this month, South Korea's prime minister sat down with President Trump in the Oval Office, raising the possibility of another meeting with Kim Jong-un. Trump has made it clear he's open to it, and Kim is signaling he could actually be too, but with one condition. North Korea's nuclear weapons are not up for negotiation. Will Ripley, CNN, Taipei.
A New Mexico jury has found Meta liable in a case over child sexual exploitation on its platforms. The jury found the company violated state law in a case
one,
accusing it of failing to warn users about the dangers of its platforms and protect children from sexual predators. Meta was found liable on all counts in order to pay $375 million in damages. A Meta spokesperson said the company respectfully disagrees and plans to appeal. The state's attorney general had accused Facebook and Instagram of becoming a breeding ground for abuse. The 6-week trial included testimony from executives, whistleblowers, and an undercover investigation into child sexual exploitation on Meta's platforms. The company argued it has been transparent about risks and invested heavily in safety.
New York's LaGuardia Airport is back open today after an Air Canada plane collided with a fire truck on the runway Sunday night. The pilot and co-pilot were killed and dozens more injured. Maribel Gonzalez has the latest on the investigation.
2 young pilots left their homes expecting to return to their families, and they will not.
Late Sunday night, 2 pilots were killed when an Air Canada plane carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew smashed into a Port Authority fire truck while landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
They transferred over 43 people to the hospital.
A tragedy officials say is rare.
It has been over 34 years since we had an incident with a death at the airport.
According to a preliminary analysis, the jet collided with the fire truck at 104 miles per hour. National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jennifer Homendy said the Port Authority and emergency responders retrieved the plane's voice and data recorders Monday by cutting a hole in the roof of the aircraft. While the NTSB doesn't yet know if the recorders will provide usable data, Homendy noted that some members of her investigative team are still en route to LaGuardia, coming through airports impacted by travel woes due to the partial government shutdown.
Our air traffic control specialist, who was in line with TSA for 3 hours until we called in Houston to beg to see if we can get her through.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy addressed concerns about staffing in the air traffic control tower.
I've heard the rumor that there was only one controller in the tower, and that's not accurate.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
When we come back, you'll get an entertainment update from Olivia Oakley. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Olivia Oakley, here to give you your entertainment news for the week. The defendant in Rihanna's home shooting trial has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder charges. Florida woman Ivana Lizette Ortiz is facing a possible life sentence after she was accused of firing a semi-automatic rifle at the home of pop superstar Rihanna. Rihanna was home at the time, along with her partner A$AP Rocky, their 3 children, and others. The incident occurred earlier this month, and no one was hurt. Ortiz is facing over a dozen charges connected to the shooting, including 10 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Each count is associated with a person she allegedly shot at. Her bail has been set at a whopping $1.875 million. During Wednesday's hearing, the judge declined to reduce the bail after the state noted she stands accused of firing about 20 rounds from the rifle. Ortiz's next court hearing is scheduled for next month. Everyone's favorite zoo monkey has finally made a friend. Reporter Jeremy Roth has more on the story.
We could all use a little good news these days, and here's some that'll make fans of Punch the Monkey go ape. It seems our beloved Punch has finally made a real best friend. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Punch went viral when adorable video of the baby macaque monkey toting a stuffed animal everywhere took the internet by storm. The story took a dark turn when officials at Japan's Ichikawa City Zoo confirmed the plushie was a comfort device of sorts for Punch, who was abandoned by his mother and later bullied by his enclosure mates. But now the zoo says the 7-month-old is finally fitting in, hugging and playing with others, and has been seen clinging to what the zoo calls his new best friend, another macaque named Mo. So now we can count at least one official pal for Punch, in addition to his millions of fans worldwide.
A new Lord of the Rings movie is in the works, and it's being written by comedian Stephen Colbert. This was revealed in a video of Colbert and Oscar-winning franchise director Peter Jackson. Colbert is working on the film while finishing out the last days of his contract as the Late Show host at CBS. He's a J.R.R. Tolkien superfan and started this project years ago. He says he's been working with his son, who's a screenwriter, and Philippa Boyens to develop the script. The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum movie will be based on parts of the 1954 novel, The Fellowship of the Ring, that never made it into the original movies. It is set to be released in 2027. That's all I have for you today. When we come back, you'll get a business consumer update from Lucy and Brady. I'm Olivia Oakley, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. European soccer fans have filed a complaint about the high prices FIFA is charging for World Cup tickets. FIFA is the sole seller of World Cup tickets, and the complaint accuses FIFA of abusing that monopoly. It calls on the European Union to impose price caps and force greater transparency over ticket sales. FIFA has argued Americans are used to paying high prices for premium sports, and the ticket pricing reflects the demand. Tickets for some World Cup games cost thousands of dollars. The World Cup starts in Mexico City on June 11th. The U.S. home opener in Los Angeles on June 12th has yet to sell out.
Chronic diseases are the leading cause of death worldwide. In the United States, these diseases affect more than half of the population, according to the National Institute for Healthcare Management. One nonprofit in the Southeast is battling that cycle through its medically tailored meal program, aimed at providing meals rich in nutrients that address chronic health issues. Yvonne Rodriguez joins us live with the latest.
For the last 5 years, Jim Black has volunteered as a delivery driver for Open Hand Atlanta.
Home sweet home.
Delivering free home-cooked meals to people struggling with health and hunger across Georgia.
203 should be the next one on the left there.
After a quick hello,
Morning, how you doing?
Jim continues on his way to the next client.
Have a good day.
All right, that's it.
Take care.
All right.
But inside Danny Cooley's home, those delivered meals mean everything.
It's helpful to me. I'm just struggling trying to gather food up for myself.
Cooley says his health requires a special diet, one that he can't always afford consistently.
I'm in good shape with this.
Before any meals get delivered to homes across the state, the cooking and packaging all happens inside the nonprofit's facility.
We're trying to help people either prevent chronic disease or better manage it, and in some cases overcome serious chronic health conditions. So many of our clients have cancer, HIV, diabetes, heart disease, and we're providing them with the nutrition to help them better manage their chronic health conditions.
CEO Matt Piper says on average, they'll make over 5,000 meals a day that are helping people live better lives and proving to be a broader economic benefit.
If we can keep people out of hospitals, keep them out of institutionalized care, right? If we can lower the hospital readmission rates and keep people out of emergency rooms through nutrition, it's actually a low-cost investment compared to the cost of an average hospital stay.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
The war with Iran is starting to impact farmers in the U.S. just weeks before the spring planting season. Many farmers are seeing rising costs for daily operations, and one of the biggest concerns right now is fertilizer. The president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union says nitrogen prices have jumped $100 a ton. That extra cost alone is forcing some farmers to reconsider what they will grow. Rising fuel costs are also impacting everything from fieldwork to transporting products. Farmers say with so many variables shifting at the same time, uncertainty is growing. And that, they say, could lead to higher prices for consumers. We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Brady Huneycutt.
And I'm Lucy Chapman. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.